Hi everyone, once again live at day 2 at the 10th annual edition of the Data Innovation Summit. I'm very happy to be here with Lennart Hedlund and Martin, who are both enterprise architects and also speakers at this edition, and we're very happy to have them as speakers. So guys, welcome, and I want to ask you, can you share a little bit about your session and what is one takeaway that you want attendees to walk away from your session?
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. I can start. We were talking about actually the history, why we're standing here where we're standing, and that is the 30 years of data evolution, which has led to this medallion architecture, which is more or less like commonly accepted as this is the future to go. But with that, we did offspring into the future, what we were seeing around the corner in terms of where we're actually going with this medallion architecture, how it can collaborate with AI, AIOps, LLMs, and so forth for the future.
And also we sort of mentioned what is the main obstacle to get there as we stand now, because we have a lot of shiny technology coming here and for many years, but maybe we sort of stuck in the way of working and how we organize ourselves around this.
Truly important. That is truly important. What is actually the biggest hurdle to make it work? So we want where we want to be to utilizing all the power of AI and all the shiny stuff. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing that, both of you. I'm also curious to hear some of the challenges that you might have come across or are struggling with right now in your company, working as enterprise architects. So, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. Would you start or should I?
Start you as
I can start. Okay. One of the biggest hurdles is actually the way of doing stuff, and the second hurdle is the way we are organized in the enterprise. So the hierarchy of the organization is actually not built for the future data landscape. It is built for current data landscape, you can say. And that is not always a match and makes it very hard to actually transition from the old to the new. That's the first thing. And then it's also the habit of how people are used to work and work together. That is another thing that actually turns out to be the biggest rock on the road for future development. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I mean also how we organize the data in those platforms that is have always have done, not in a more efficient way that we were talking about how we can do it domain driven with data products.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And I want to ask you in regards to value creation. So, not every organization is getting the value out of their investments that they have expected. So, what would your, let's say, advice be for those companies or even individuals and teams? What can they do differently when it comes to extracting and getting the value out of their data, AI, or analytics initiatives?
Yeah, good question. Really good question. And that, in my world, it's combined of several things. One of the first things is that not understanding what it's capable for, what it's capable to do, and instead trying to use it for other stuff that it's not made for. So, for example, if you're using a lake house and try to apply a warehouse on that one, you will miserably fail, for example, and not utilize the investment of it. So in terms of value creation, you should really stick to the possibilities of what you actually have tried to make it working. That's the first thing. And the second thing is actually try to see the possibility and not so much see what you have used before and try to apply it on the same thing, because then you're moving into the future and doing a lot of transition on the legacy, but without leveraging the legacy. So then in the end of the day, a couple of years later, you have accomplished nothing in terms of development than just moving old stuff to new shiny boxes.
Yeah, and I think you should see the large picture where we want to go with it as well. I mean, as an architect, I would like to understand why are we doing things, how should we organize around it, but then start small. So you understand and how you can get the value out of what you've done, your investments and so on. And avoid the pitfall to start with technology and or want to do a big bang, because then we'll never manage it.
No.
You know?
But also to add on that one, it is not the technology that's going to solve the problems of the world. It is the people using technology.
That's a very good point to add at the end of the answer. Thank you, Lennart and Martin also. I have one more question here, actually two. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on making a prediction. So when it comes to the next couple of years, the near future, what would be one bold prediction in the field that you're working on? So enterprise architecture, or what do you hope to see in terms of development? So what is one development that you would predict, for example?
Yeah. In terms of like using the power of the data, winning with data, how can you make that happen even better tomorrow, being faster in time to market and everything? Well, the first and foremost thing in terms of AI is talking about the self-healing AI, and also making the releasing of the AI into the boundaries of, I mean, if you look at back in time, the AI was treated like a stupid FAQ thing. Now it's more assistant thing. But tomorrow I see it as your partner in work, where you actually have it as a collaborating company partner. So that is actually increasing the intelligence and the utilizing the power of have another partner at work. And that will not, so to say, let's make lots of people to go, but more like leveraging the knowledge of people, helping out and understanding and respecting from the ethics. It's like the child, you learn it how to walk, and when you start to walking, you can let it walk away when you are very close in coaching. So then you can have longer distance in coaching. The same with AI and something AIs, where they're using the DNA to actually regain its old forces, and also leveraging the knowledge of itself through feedback loops and other forces. Yeah? 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 What do you add, please?
I can add two things. I mean, one, I think you formally beautiful, but I mean it's both how you co-work as a person, but also in the operations, self-healing systems, and data fabric. That was one of the buzzwords some years ago. It's actually happening now.
Yeah, but in terms of actually, how can we actually utilize the power of the data? So then it's like in operations. So you look at it from an analytical perspective and say this data is only for analytics, not so much today and forward, because the power of everything we have and the size of things that we can have. So then again, it's not just analytical, it's also operational. So it's more like a perspective of the data than it is purely analytical, purely operational. The data is there for both operational and analytical things, where you can take immediate split seconds decisions based on the data that is flowing through you. Something like that. Yeah.
Very interesting take, I must admit. Thank you for sharing that with us. One more interesting question, which is talked about a lot nowadays, especially regarding the human and AI collaboration when it comes to enterprise settings. So, what is your take on, will AI replace humans or not?
Once again, I didn't hear. What did you say? What did you take on?
Will AI replace humans?
Will AI replace humans? Yes, it will in certain places, but not everywhere. So, but then again, in terms of development and how actually new technology things and stuff actually make some jobs not needed anymore to be performed by humans, but others instead will be invented by the technology to make people work. So I have no scary thoughts about AI going to replace all humans and we're going to be sacked, all of us. No, not at all.
And I think we talk about the human work, but not the humans as well.
Sorry,
yes,
human
yes,
work.
yes. In terms of workplaces, yes. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, thank you.